Yeah, so my mother just called me with a very, very, very disturbing story. So I have to just stop whatever I'm doing and just record this real quick. So I've heard, and I'm going to do some more research into this before I actually go into full commentary on it. But I've heard some disturbing news that apparently the current Commissioner of Police in Jamaica is going to be increasing the brutality on the citizens of Jamaica, saying, just the most authoritarian and absolutely chilling, crazy stuff, talking about he wants to put people in prison for 10 years if they're caught with a firearm, all of this stuff. So let us just dissect all of this for a second, right? And let's start with that firearm thing first. So, what we essentially have, and this is nobody's fault, right? It's not the fault of the police. It's not a fault of the politician. It's not a fault of the criminal. It's not a fault of the churches. It's not a fault of any of that. We as a people, and you cannot separate us from our history and our culture. If you're trying to fix the problems, you first have to understand the real problem, right? And we cannot address crime until we first come to grips with the reality of colonialism. We are a nation that is a quote unquote free nation, yet we never wrote our own constitution. We are a nation that still teaches that Bustamante is a national hero. That man is the biggest criminal to ever want this nation, and we still teach that man is a national hero. The constitution that we have was written by England. It wasn't even written by our people. So these so-called laws that these officers are enforcing are not even laws that Jamaicans even want or even had a say in the creation of. All right, so that's the first part of the problem. Now let's talk about specifically, right? Some of the stuff what I've been hearing about what this man is planning to implement are absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Like, and I understand where it's coming from. I do not doubt this man. I do not question his dedication and his love for his country. I do not question any of that. I do not question that his heart is in the right place. Just like I don't question the Atlanta DA. I understand why they're doing things the way how they are. But you do not need to get rid of everyone's rights in order to fight crime. That is you choosing to do it the way that will make your ego feel the most satisfied and not the way that's going to have the best results. Understand something. We currently live in a society that manufactures children, and it's a system that changes these children, black children, into weapons. So, for instance, that 10-year, if you get caught with a gun, you're going to be arrested for 10 years. So what you expect a kid in the ghetto who is literally witnessing his own brother and his own cousins, he saw them get murdered when he was a child. You understand? So him, in his mindset, where you see the gun as, zero tolerance policy and all of that, that man sees that gun as the only thing that's going to keep him alive. You understand? He is a 10-year-old child. And understand that this is who these quote-unquote criminals are and these quote-unquote thugs are. These are not the stuff that you see on Law and Order, SVU, and all of that crap. These are children. These are children. Like even right now in the US, it's the same thing with Quando Rondo and the NBA young boys and all of this stuff. These are children. They are literally children who Look at the story of people like Lil Durk. They had no other choice, and Little Baby is probably the best example. No other choice than to become who they are. And what, you think that you getting on the stage as a police chief and making all these threats about how you're going to do all of these big things and you're going to torture all of these people? No. Understand who is going to administer your commands. Understand something. The criminals in Jamaica, every single bad man in Jamaica know that they can take over the whole island within 6 hours if they choose to. If they choose to, and ain't a goddamn thing the officers can do to stop it. And you know what? Every single police officer knows that. Every police officer in a Kingston know that. So the only reason why they are alive is not because of their badge. Because real bad man don't give a damn about a badge. Real bad man don't care about your M16. Them have bigger guns than that in the ghetto. Alright? So them not scared of that. And understand something. To take a child, a lot of these people who become criminals are criminals from they're like 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the famous rappers, 21 Savage. Yeah, he was shooting people at 14. All right, that's the world that we live in, where children are the ones taking up the weapons. And understand something, for when they at that young age pick up a gun, it's not like they're thinking, oh my God, if I go out and I rob this person, I could die. Or oh my God, people are dying. Understand something, these people, they understand that, and they know that that's the reality and what could come of it. And you know, like the thugs here in the US, they have a saying, like everybody who practices the street life here in the US, they have a saying. They're just like, yo, it's not like we all thinking, yo, niggas could die doing this shit. We know niggas could die doing this shit. It come with it. And that saying right there, it come with it. Understand something, that is the same attitude Jamaican bad man have, but to an extreme. To an extreme. So them already know. Like, and this is the reason why you see the crimes that we have in Jamaica and the way how they happen, where you'll have criminals who will literally go up to a building and kill a man to take a gun from him. Because he knows that he has a gun. Understand, crimes like that would never happen in the US. But they happen in Jamaica all the time. Because Jamaican badman and Jamaican thugs understand what come with the lifestyle where them choose to live. And you, by making it more extreme and brutal, all you're going to do is make these criminals even better at the jobs that they're currently doing. And you will make them even more savage and brutal, because the brutality is a tool. And it's necessary for survival in the communities that we have created, because we as a nation and as a people has chosen to ignore colonialism and chosen to instead try to emulate and try to appease the people who oppressed us for all these generations, versus embrace who we are and be proud of who we are. So, no. This action, what he's doing, is absolutely the wrong course of action. And understand something, every police out there who love to go on like say them a bad man and all of this stuff, you talk to any police, any real policeman who's seen some shit and who's gone into the ghetto on them raids to go capture a bad man. You talk to any of them real police. When I talk the pussy or them who will pull you over for give a traffic ticket. When I talk about the real police them in Jamaica who literally get shot at and get shot whole heap of time. Right? Every police knows that they are outnumbered and outgunned. And the only reason why people can still even talk about Jamaica even as a functioning nation is because the criminals choose to not do what they are 100% capable of doing. They are the ones making the choice to keep the peace because peace is profitable. That's the reality of the ghetto and of the so-called criminals in Jamaica. And you're not going to get these people to break that by being more barbaric and brutal to that. And you're not going to get these officers who are already risking their goddamn life every single time they put on a goddamn uniform to go try to go. What do you think going to happen? You think you passing all of these things, you have to administer it through the same team of officers who've been doing this for years and who've been living this life, and they understand that they are literally only alive by the fucking good graces of whoever the Don is who run that community. He chooses to keep them alive. That's the only reason why they're alive. That's the reality of Jamaica and the crime. All right? So what you're going to do when you pass all of these brutal and extreme laws, and all of these bald people are all cheering it on, because they're scared and they're thinking through a place of fear, right? All you're going to do is these police are going to use all of these brutal policies and brutalize poor people and people who can't fight back. Those are the only people who are going to be targeted by all of these laws. Or a kid from the ghetto who, out of freaking fear, because he probably witnessed all of his family murdered up until this point. This kid is 12 years old or whatever, and he's still going to high school every day. Yeah, him going to buy a little 38. And now you're going to destroy this kid's whole life because of that. You don't even know if the kid have bodies on him. But understand something, that a gun in some parts of Kingston is like wearing shoes. You understand the vibration? That's what these children are living with. So just because the man them pick up gun, that don't mean that their motivation is to kill people. Honestly, the gun might only be, in their mind, the only way that they can stay alive. The only way that they can stay alive. And until you understand that, Mr. Commissioner, until you understand our culture and you understand our story and who we are, and until you get off of your high horse and you get off of your ego trip, if you honestly care about helping our nation and helping our people, then you have to approach this from a place of love, not a place of brutality and oppression. Because we as a nation have endured that for over 1,000 years. The brutality with the Arawak Indians. The brutality before the people who were here before the Arawaks. We don't even know who those people are. We aren't not even taught that. The brutality those people endured. The brutality that all the African people endured. And all of these people who we now call Rastafarians. Ancient people who kept their culture alive through slavery. With no technology, no internet, none of that. They kept their culture alive. And now we call them quote unquote Rastafarians. Until you understand the culture and you come down and you talk to people in the ghetto and you talk to the bad man them, why wouldn't you meet with a Don? If you show the man them respect, regardless of what you think about their life choices, understand something. It don't matter how you get in the goddamn room. The fact is you are in the room. And understand something. That reality, what y'all are used to seeing, what you see on your TV and all of this stuff, the people in the ghetto live a completely different reality. By a completely different government. And a completely different set of rules. And it's very democratic. Because their democracy is the gun. So a man who becomes a Don of a community, he is elected by that community. That is the reality of ghetto life. So you need to treat the Dons like with the freaking title that they have. And you need to look at all of these ghettos as instead, look at them as small tribes. Small tribes with each with an individual chieftain. You meet with the chieftain and you discuss them. This is how you change. This is how you fight crime. And to speak to the brothers out there who are considering the crime, I understand, I was fortunate to be born where I was, to be born of the family that I was born into. You never had a choice in becoming who you are. You never had a choice, and that was unfair to you. You were not given a choice by this society. You were labeled a criminal before you even had thoughts of even doing anything criminal. And that was unfair to you. It wasn't right, and it wasn't fair the hand that you were dealt. But understand something, and this is not something what I make up. This is something that we witness every goddamn day. That there is an alternate reality. There is an alternate pathway. And trust me, you follow my example, and I must show y'all a different way how to do things. Alright? And if you don't even want to follow me, follow a man like Jay-Z. The man live it. The man live it right in front of our eyes. Follow a man like Tupac Shakur. The man lived that right in front of our eyes. Follow a man like Bob Marley. Follow a man like Peter Tosh. Go up on YouTube right now. It's free. Type in Peter Tosh interview, Bob Marley interview. Watch that stuff and educate yourself. Go back and watch the documentary on the Coral Gardens massacre and look at what those police did to our people. For what crime? Just because we choose to wear our hair long? Because we choose to live as free men. You tell black people, say them free. Emancipation come, liberation. Yet, you can't wear your hair like that. Why? If I'm a free man, why can't I wear my hair like this? Why can't I choose to practice my religion the way how I choose to practice my religion? And yes, why can't I burn my bomba clock ganja? If I choose to grow that, who am I hurting? You told me that I am a free man. I'm no longer a slave. So then why are you trying to chain and imprison me in all of these other ways? So yeah, no, absolutely not. I am not questioning the motivations of the commission. I know that he's a good man. I know that he has a good heart. But his perspective is not correct. Like, we've had brutality before. Well, you think every other commissioner before you was just soft? That's the reason why they couldn't get it done? In the words of Bob Marley, in 1979, he said this to W.C. Welch. We are well trained. I have been running from police since I was 16 years old, and I'm still running from police. This was Bob Marley who said this in Los Angeles. And he's like, yeah, we are well trained. I don't worry about these America police, because no police no wicked like Jamaica police. The man who them have statue up and I use for sell soap and all of this foolishness, and I get all kind of people for come to Jamaica. That man, that was how he was treated in Jamaica by the police. So you think that you being more brutal than that is somehow going to make a difference? What, you think the bad man them are intimidated? They are not scared. It come with it. That's their attitude. And that's their response to you, Mr. Commissioner. It come with it. So until you realize that and realize what you're dealing with, I don't know what to tell you. But do not brutalize our people anymore for your ego. If you are a man who is serious and true about his word, then start listening to the people who are trying to show you an other way how to fight this. And a way that will actually work. And a way that will put respect first. Because understand something, is not, and this is also for the ghetto youth, a big part of what keeps you alive in a Jamaica and in our culture is respect. And is your name. And is how you carry yourself. That's what keeps you alive in the ghetto. Alright? Yeah, your title don't mean shit in the ghetto. Your vehicle where you drive, you think say you're an officer, boy. Officer dead the same way. You think gunshot give a fuck? And you think these criminals who have nothing to lose when they get to that point in life, they have nothing to lose. You think you gonna scare them by telling them that you gonna kill them or whatever, you gonna put them in jail forever? Guess what you just did? What you just did now is the man who would have just said, all right, well, it might just be a little $5,000 fee I have to pay if them catch me with a gun, right? So I'll just go and do my thing. You know what you just did? You just told him that if he gets caught with a gun now, he might go to jail for 10 years. Guess what he might go do? He might go bomb class shoot any fucking police officer who come after him. So now all you have done is made shootouts much more likely. Much more likely. And what you're doing now is you're saying, guess what? We as the criminals, we need to carry higher firepower. Because we need to make sure, say, yo, when we come through, everybody knows, say, we're going to shower the whole goddamn place because we now go a bomber clock jail. That's what you have just created, Mr. Commissioner. So stop looking at this through a lens of fear and looking at this through a lens of oppression and continuing this culture of colonialism and oppression. And instead, meet the people where they are and treat them with respect. Because it doesn't matter what they've done in the past to get there. The fact is they're in the room, and they're in the room where they are the kings of their community. So treat the Dons like the kings who they are. Treat them with respect. Talk to them. Explain what you want in the society, the outcomes that you want, and work with the man them. And the man them will work with their people, because at the end of the day, every single bad man in a Jamaica, at the end of the day, the man them just want to live a better life. That's all it's about. That's all it's about. That's what the heart of a thug is. That they will survive and they're going to get whatever they want, whatever the cost. Because they've been pushed to that point by the society. But these men, and that's what they are men. I heard you were calling them animals and all of this disparaging stuff. That's the same words what Bossamanti used against Rastafari. So these are not animals. These are my brothers. Every single thug, every single bad man, every gunman, every one of these people. They are my brothers as well. You need to look at them that way and respect them that way and come at them that way. And that is how you start changing shit in Jamaica. And I'm talking from a place of understanding. Because true, I never grew up in the ghetto through the graces of my mother. But I went to JC, where we stab up conductor boy all the time. I went to the school where we get banned from Kentucky. Only school in Kingston where get banned from Kentucky. That's the school where me go to. Alright? So I know what I talk about when I say I saw some of the most brutal motherfuckers that country has ever produced pass through the gates. And me sit down and yam food with all of them, man. Alright? So understand what I say to you, that even all of these brutal people, there is still a heart of humanity in them. And they know that the choices that they're doing are wrong, but they don't have any other opportunities. It is the way how it is. It's life. And everything that come with it. So they're going to make the moves that they will make, and they know the risk of what's involved, but they're going to do it because guess what? the life that they live during that short period of their criminal career is the only time when they feel free. And they feel like a free man and a human. And that's who the Dons are and what they represent to the community. So no. Change your mindset, man. Change your approach. Stop with the bald-head thinking, man. Honestly. And listen to the Rasta community, because we've been telling y'all for years. And all you have to do is just open the goddamn ears.